In the fierce power struggle between warlords Hatch and Lang, the tides finally turned in favor of General Lang. Hatch's loyal followers face a grim fate as they are subjected to public execution or military prisons. Within the confines of one of these prisons, the Quarry, life becomes a relentless cycle of hard labor. Each prisoner, with an iron mask tightly secured over their mouths, able only to consume liquid food while barely speaking and breathing. In the heart of the Quarry stands an ominous giant meat grinder, with chains bound to the prisoner's legs. One fateful day, the grinding machinery halts, prompting the warden to command Kye, a prisoner with mechanical skills, to repair it. Meanwhile, a new inmate arrives at the Quarry. Seizing the moment when the guards are preoccupied, one of the prisoners dares to ignite a spark of rebellion. However, before the rebellion gains any momentum, another prisoner activates the crusher, and the rebel is swiftly pulled towards it. Observing the unfolding turmoil, the newcomer takes notice, and communicating with a sniper, signals the start of their own riot. Reacting at once, the warden puts the meat grinder in kill-all mode, attempting to preserve his and his comrades' lives. In the midst of this chaos, Kye tries to disable the program, but the chain, tightly bound around his leg, forcefully drags him towards death. Fueled by desperation, he grabs a machine gun, struggling in vain to break his bonds, resorting in shooting his own leg, amputating it along with the entangled chain. Later, Kye awakens in Hatch's residence, discovering that he now wears a prosthetic leg. The warlord removes Kye's mask and reveals that he has been fighting against Lang's oppression for years, while also requesting from Kye to urgently infiltrate a spaceship and gather crucial information. In return, Hatch promises to accompany Kye to New Holland, where they can together rescue Kye's father, who Lang plans to execute on the day of his release. Once aboard the ship, Kye taps into the computer system, while Hatch guides him through an earpiece, providing precise instructions on what he needs. However, the capsules carrying the rest of the passengers are dropped, and the ship hurtles through space, carrying and crashing Kye to an unknown planet. Eager to explore his new surroundings, Kye rushes outside, only to realize that the planet's atmosphere is toxic. Then, Kye attempts to gather information from the ship's computer, but he encounters an authorization barrier, leaving him with minimal guidance, except for the alarming warning of rapidly depleting oxygen levels. A few minutes later, Oleander, the commander of the ship, urges all survivors to gather at the crash site of his shuttle. Kye unsuccessfully tries to reach Hatch for assistance. Next, he looks for Oleander, finding him bloody and unconscious, while a young girl emerges from a capsule nearby. Kye relinquishes his mask to the girl, Taryn, ensuring her safety and carrying her back to the ship. However, unbeknownst to him, a lurking creature drags Oleander inside a crevasse. Taryn eventually comes to her senses, immediately realizing that Kye was an unauthorized passenger on the ship, but nonetheless embarking on a quest with him to locate the wreckage. Amidst their journey, Taryn observes that the ship's debris is rapidly oxidizing, indicating the toxic nature of the atmosphere. Kye eventually spots a spaceship in the distance. Adjacent to it, he notices a glowing rod crackling with electric pulses. Taryn speculates that Kye may be Hatch's mercenary, assuring him that he will receive a fair trial, convinced that he is mistaken about the warlord's intentions. However, the mechanic resolutely refuses to return to Earth, fearing prison. After equipping Taryn with a weapon, he tries departing on his own. But a reminder from Reef, the ship's AI, notes that he lacks the necessary authority to pilot the ship. Kye then seeks official information about Hatch, stumbling upon a recording of the warlord's interrogation. In the recording, Hatch confesses his crimes against Lang and expresses a desire for an even more violent, oppressive prison system. Reuniting with Taryn, Kye expresses his intention to flee, and following her advice, he removes his clothes to avoid detection. However, their efforts prove futile as they fail to reach the escape pods in time, watching as they ascend into the sky. As Taryn gazes after the pods, Kyle finds himself ensnared by an unknown creature, which drags him beneath the rocks. Taryn returns to the shuttle, removing her helmet in preparation to succumb to the low oxygen atmosphere. However, the AI delivers unexpected information that rekindles her hopes. Taryn ventures toward the rock Kye had previously observed, only to discover him covered in a slimy substance. Kye now seems immune to the air's toxicity, and despite not remembering the last couple of hours, he admits feeling remarkably better. The girl discloses the absence of additional escape pods but reveals a potential solution. It turns out that the glowing stone encases the body of Commander Oleander. Unable to revive him, Kye employs a device that stimulates the commander's retinas, bypassing the ship's authorization problems. As the engine warms up, Oleander wakes up and starts rambling about Hatch and needing to destroy a heart, while also becoming aggressive towards the girl. Kye tries to intervene, but his efforts prove futile as Oleander shoots Terran in the helmet, inadvertently hitting Kye as well. Losing consciousness, Kye awakens naked and injured in the middle of the desert. He discovers bones, probably Terran's, and the computer informs him that he has been absent for 3 days and the shuttle engine is irreparably damaged. Time is running out, leaving Kye uncertain if he will make it to save his father on the day of his release. The following weeks, Kye diligently collects debris scattered across the desert, attempting to repair the engine. One night, he awakens to peculiar sounds, and an inexplicable transformation begins to occur within him. He asks the ship's computer about what is happening, but Reef suggests leaving the shuttle at once or risk damaging it. Fleeing into the darkness, he stumbles upon an alien, before he himself transforms into a monstrous being. Kye eventually wakes up in his normal form, this time with vivid recollection of what transpired. But after expressing his anxiety about repairing the ship in time to save his father, the computer informs him that the release day has already passed, leaving Kye devastated. 3 years elapse, during which Kye keeps experiencing cycles of transformation. His only solace comes from nightly displays of bioluminescent insects or fireflies. One night, Kye notices a broken fence and traces left around the shuttle. Confiding with the computer, he learns that his condition resembles Oleander's, who is also roaming the planet, with the distinction that Kye intermittently turns into a monster, whereas Oleander probably remains permanently transformed. Reef proposes that obtaining samples from Oleander could potentially aid in overcoming the anomaly. To achieve this, the computer suggests Kye undergoing a symbolic death, leaving his current body behind and being reborn in a new one, akin to the recurring transformations. Recognizing this as his sole opportunity, Kye prepares himself for the upcoming night. Baiting the monster, he emerges from the darkness and vanquishes it. Reef analyzes the extracted tissues, confirming that they indeed match Oleander's, becoming apparent that the commander has been the one sneaking around the shuttle. The computer also informs Kye that Terran is actually alive, and maybe locating the heart Oleander was screaming about would be a better idea than a makeshift reincarnation. Following that, Kye reconfigures his virtual friend to accompany him in the search for the heart. Together, they traverse the vast desert and come across artificial tunnels. Reef assists by scanning the tunnels. However, being loud in the process awakens an alien creature that lunges on Kye, but gets quickly disposed off. Soon after, the two find a wall with Kye's and Oleander's head protruding from it. Recognizing it as the heart Reef referred to, Kye destroys it, proceeding where Reef last located Terran, confirming that she survived and escaped the planet. Kye also retrieves his old prosthetic limb, which unexpectedly holds a grenade. At that moment, charred capsules begin descending from the sky, leaving Kye puzzled. Reef then breaks protocol, presenting him with some new information about the prisons Lang's regime is trying to create, referencing time dilation technology that they are trying to develop. As a shuttle hovers above Kye, Hatch makes his appearance. The old man expresses his surprise upon obtaining Kye's earlier message, noting its several-year duration while being only 20 minutes for him. It turns out, there is no time dilation technology yet, but the planet itself has a peculiar flow of time, elongating minutes into hours, and would come a long way in Hatch's plans if he had control over it. Hatch asks for the data Reef has been collecting, but Kye is not cooperating, so Hatch knocks him unconscious. When Kye regains consciousness, he finds Terran in front of him, with Hatch demanding the data from the ship while threatening the woman. Kye mentions a location, but when Hatch gets close enough, he inadvertently triggers the bomb that he hid in Kye's prosthetic leg. Back to the ship, Kye undergoes a transformation, turning into a monster, killing the guard Hatch had left behind and attacking Terran, though her cries manage to bring him back to his normal state. Surprisingly, Hatch has survived the explosion and seeks retribution on Kye for denying him power over the planet. This time, Kye successfully summons the monster without losing control, and he easily overpowers Hatch. Finally, Kye, Terran, and Reef fly to Earth in order to save the world from the clutches of the second dictator, Lang.